Considering the overarching importance of the Madani Economy Framework, I spoke with Dr. Foo Lee Peng, Chairperson, Centre for Business and Policy Research, Tunku Abdul Rahman University of Management and Technology, on the finer details. Let's watch. Dr. Foo, thank you so much for making time for us on Niaga Spotlight. How are you doing today?
Oh, good. Thank you for the invitation.
Wonderful. So I'd like to begin by asking you, Dr. Foo, now one of the Madani Economy Framework's major allocation is for a proposed 1 billion ringgit payout of 100 ringgit e-cash to about 10 million Malaysians who earn an annual income of between 100,000 and lower. So why not just give cash, though, when there is a strong consensus among experts that cash transfers being fungible are far more effective and impactful?
While it's true that cash transfers are generally considered effective due to their flexibility, however, the decisions to allocate funds in e-cash within the Madani Economy Framework might be influenced by several factors. It's essential to consider that policy decisions often take into considerations of just beyond the effectiveness. By providing e-cash to Malaysians earning an annual income of 10,000 and lower, the allocations aims to target assistance to the most vulnerable and economical disadvantaged group. Targeted assistance can help ensure that those who need the support the most receive it, making it easier to manage and reduce the risk of misuse. Additionally, it might also help in streamlining the distribution process and reduce the logistical challenge.
Right. So that is an interesting insight, especially considering the logistical challenges that we have been faced before when it comes to transfers that are direct for the underserved community. Moving along, Dr. Foo. Now, Malaysia's economic growth could reach a projected 6% with strategic reforms coming in all at once. Now, how can trade diplomacy, strategic arrangements for high competitive local companies help penetrate the broader ASEAN regional market towards this?
While Malaysia should focus on strengthening trade diplomacy with other ASEAN member states and negotiating a favorable trade agreements. Bilateral and multilateral trade agreements can actually reduce the trade barrier, promote market access, and create a conducive environment for Malaysian companies to do business in the region. For instance, the government should provide robust support and incentive for local companies seeking to export to the ASEAN market. This support can include financial assistance, export training, and access to the market information. And lastly, leverage e-commerce and digital platforms to expand the reach Malaysian companies in the ASEAN market. Online platform can help to overcome geographical barriers and reach a broader customer base.
Thank you for sharing those insights, Dr. Foo. Now, moving along from, of course, the vaster economic growth perspectives, let's move from FDIs into DDIs, domestic direct investments. Now, DDIs also, as mentioned by Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim, will be set as one of the key performance indicators, the KPIs, for the country's investments achievements. Now, do you feel that this is also moving towards a more positive framework? And what should this framework ensure when it comes to DDIs?
Well, when it comes to DDI, the most important is to attract and retain the domestic investor. The government should actually offer more incentive and support, for example, tax break, streamlining the regulatory process, and access to the financing. In additionally, addressing the barrier to investment is also another consideration should be taken into. Identify and address barriers that hinder domestic investments, for example, bureaucratic red tape, corruption, lack of access to finance, and infrastructural gaps.
And when it comes to investment barriers, particularly, as you mentioned, potential for corruption, do you feel that us moving towards more digitization is going to help improve and reduce opportunities for corruption?
Definitely. The procedures are going to be more transparent now, and then I believe the role of the middleman will be minimized.
Dr. Fu, moving along into a last area of discussion. Now, increasing national productivity via human capital is, of course, the final frontier. Let's now speak about the rather wide 27% gender gap that Malaysia currently has between male and female labor force participation rate. In your opinion, what are some legislative and regulatory measures and supporting programs that can help close this gap?
Well, closing the gender gap in the labor force participant rate in Malaysia require a comprehensive approach. For example, a flexible work arrangement which allow for telecommuting, flexible hour, part-time option. This can enable better work-life balance, making it easier for women to balance their career and family responsibility. On top of that, affordable childcare service is another key consideration as well. Providing accessible and affordable childcare service to support working parents, especially mother, quality childcare facility can reduce the burden of childcare responsibility and encourage more women to participate in the labor force. Additionally, there are more support for female entrepreneurs, for example, provide financial and monitoring support to the female entrepreneur to encourage more women to actually start their career.
I think you make some great points there, particularly speaking about support for female entrepreneurs, because that also helps to enforce a better work-life balance. In your opinion, Dr. Fu, do these supportive frameworks, should they be primarily via government investments, or are there any other measures that can be taken on a more social level for the change to also happen within our communities?
Well, I believe a better awareness campaign should be raised, should be started somewhere so that the society were aware of the role of the women participants in the labor force. In addition, the corporate diversity and inclusion policy, where you can encourage companies to adopt diversity and inclusion policy that promote gender equality in the workplace and boardroom.
Thank you very much, Dr. Fu. Some great insights there about some propositions within the Madani Economy Framework. That was Dr. Foo Lee Peng, Chairperson, Center for Business and Policy Research, Tunku Abdul Rahman University of Management and Technology. On that note, we take a short break right here on Niaga Spotlight. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the show after the break.